Okay, so this video is going to cover our urinary and reproductive tracts, and also what I like to call my mild but mentionable organs. There's one organ that is attached to your stomach over here that we haven't mentioned yet. He's a really pretty smooth organ. He actually plays a role in filtering your blood. This organ is your spleen. He lies on the left side of the abdomen, right next to your stomach. Coming up here in the throat, there's another couple of organs we want to discuss. Here's remnants of one of them right there. Most of this organ has been removed in this fetal pig, but you can see a little bit of him right here. Normally, this organ would cover this entire region in a neonate, okay? This organ is the thymus. This is not to be confused with the glands that lie up here on either side of your larynx. These glands on either side of your larynx are your thyroid glands. Very good? All right, so coming back down into the abdomen, to be able to see the urinary tract, you're going to have to break down this membrane right here. What is the membrane that encased the abdominal organs called? Peritoneum. Good job, guys. Okay, so you've got to break that down. Once you've broken that down, you see you've got a set of paired organs right here. These organs are what filter blood and produce urine. Those are our what, guys? Kidneys. Good. So blood has to get to my kidney. If I flip my kidney over, I see I've got an artery going into my kidney right there. That is my renal artery. If I flip my kidney back over, I see I've got a blue thing going in my kidney. This is taking blood out of my kidney that has already been filtered. That is called my renal vein. Very good. Now, as my kidney filters blood, he produces urine. The urine has to get out of my kidney some way, and I've got a tube for that. The tube that drains the urine out of my kidney is called my ureter. U-R-E-T-E-R. Ureter. The ureter goes down. I'm going to move that little repro track out of the way. The ureter goes down and dumps into this tubular organ right here. This organ is your urinary bladder. If you trace your urinary bladder down, you'll notice your urinary bladder empties to the outside of the body via a tube. This tube is your urethra. U-R-E-T-H-E-R-A. Not to be confused with ureter. You guys see that? Ureter has two E's on it, and there are two ureters. If that helps y'all, that's the way I remembered it. Ureter has two E's in it, and there are two ureters to go with two kidneys. Urethra has a T in it, and it makes a T and goes out of the body. Good? So, there's some important anatomy to know when you're looking at the urinary tract in a fetus, okay? This fetal pig, when it was euthanized and prepared, was taken via C-section. You can see this nice little cord here tying off its umbilical cord, all right? A fetus takes blood to the placenta in the mom. That blood exchanges nutrients and waste with the placenta and comes back into the body via a vein. So the blood that leaves the body goes out through your uterine arteries. The blood that returns from the body comes back through your umbilical vein. This should have been umbilical arteries. Goes back through your umbilical vein. You only have one umbilical vein. You guys appreciate that? Can you see it? That umbilical vein goes through your liver. You've got two umbilical arteries. They lie on either side of your bladder, and these go up into the umbilicus. You've got one more structure in your umbilicus you need to know. You can see this opening right here that was on the top of the urinary bladder. That opening is called your urachus. It's what takes the fetal urine out of the body and into the placenta. Make sense? All right. Now that we've done the urinary tract, the next thing we want to pay attention to is the reproductive tract. This is a female pig, and so you can appreciate right here, she has her very immature reproductive tract. If I pull this out, what I want you guys to notice is this part of the tube right here. This is the uterine body. Pigs, as well as most domestic mammals, have horns to their uteruses. If you pay attention, you can see a horn right here and then one that I'm gripping to hold the body up, a horn right here. Those are called your uterine horns. This leads you to this small little bean-like structure on either side. Those are going to be what? Ovaries. Very good. If you look between the ovary and the uterine horn, you will see a small little tubular structure that surrounds the ovary. That little tubular structure is called your fallopian tube or your oviduct. Finishing out your female reproductive anatomy, you've got a ligament that holds your uterus against the body wall. That's called the broad ligament. You've got a ligament that suspends your uterus or your ovary into the abdominal cavity. That's called the suspensory ligament. And then you've got a small little ligament that holds your ovary to your uterus proper. That is called your ovarian ligament. And you can actually, even though this is tiny, you can see all of these really well on this pig. The last bit of reproductive anatomy in the female is going to be the external reproductive anatomy. And right here you can see we've got our vulva. And the vulva, if you open it up, leads to your vaginal vault. And it is also where your urethra exits to dump urine. Moving over, we're going to switch genders on our pigs here. We're going to move over to our male pig. All the rest of the urinary tract is going to be very similar in the male pig. Your big difference is going to be the way your urethra exits. Instead of your urethra exiting out a vulva, you don't have a vulva because it's a male, your urethra is going to come out and go around and actually exit out of the penis. Okay, so the urethra comes out through the pelvis and goes around. You can actually see part of the base of the penis right there, and it's going to come out there. So that's the only big difference on the urinary tract in the male. The male reproductive tract, this is a testicle that's been fully dissected. Here is a testicle that was not dissected. Both of these testicles used to be encased in this sac right here, which is called the scrotum. When we extracted one of the testicles and completely dissected it, you can see you've got several different structures. You have this really nice thin membrane that encased all the structures of the testicle and all the supporting organs, and that was called the vaginal tunic. The vaginal tunic was attached to its interior structures by this thin membrane called the gubernaculum. The gubernaculum attaches to this nice little C-shaped tubular structure. That C-shaped tubular structure is called the epididymis. It surrounds this bean-like structure, and that is the testicle proper. There is a muscle attached to this right here. That muscle is what's going to allow the testicle to be pulled closer to the body or extended further away from the body for heat control. That's called your cremaster muscle. And then if we look at the base of our epididymis, your sperm is produced in the testicle. It's excreted into the epididymis where it is finalized, and then it comes out of the epididymis as fertile sperm ready to exit the body. And if you look, you've got a thin little tube. This thin tube is important. His name is the vas deferens, and you can see him right here. He exits out right there, and he's going to come up and join with the urethra at the level of the prostate. So that is going to be your male reproductive anatomy.